Alright, everybody, welcome back. Now, the last episode pissed me off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we were on a good path and then it just suddenly collapsed on top of us. But it is what it is. You play and you learn, and that's the beauty of these games, so we'll do just that. I'm gonna go with plus 40 wood. So essentially we went with a little bit different route last time around, and we have finally unlocked the Rune Forge. Holy shit, I'm very happy about that. We still have so many other things to unlock. Like, imagine, like, these, man, 1,000 and 2,000 each. That is going to be a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of games played, for sure. Okay, so I really like this path of Odin's Grace. This is what we checked out last time. Reducing the specialization prices. And hold on. So this is now 200. So technically, if we grab this, then we can immediately specialize. Yes, we can. Look at that. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, wave 0 plus 50 income of, or plus 80 income of wood. That's actually huge. Okay, let's go with this. Now, what did work out is actually letting this first couple of waves deal damage to the village, because it really doesn't matter. Like, that didn't do all that much in the long run, so that's perfectly fine. I think we're going to continue the same route as we did previously. So first things first, I'm going to grab the guild hall so that starts accumulating. And then next one will be the university. Yep. Okay. Next up is going to be the university. Now this outpost, I don't know, man. The problem with this outpost thing is, well, it's good that we had this. Problem is that we really didn't build any outposts in the early game. So I think once we pick this up, I don't think I'm going to wait for all the economy budget upgrades and then into the further reducing the prices in the supply depot, because that will just take up so much time, and I think we're just wasting time, or I'm just wasting time waiting for all these resources to come in and you know, just upgrades to be grabbed. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm definitely going to build a tower over here. I'm going to open up with arc towers as well, as we did previously, and then somehow, I don't know how, but I want to transition out of it, because although I love the arc towers, I think they're fantastic, I kind of want to start, like, you know, poking around with the other towers. What can we do with those? You know, not just play the same tower over and over again until we get to, I don't know how much waves. Okay, opening blitz. Now this can be actually super helpful against the blue HP bar enemies, so I think I'm gonna go with that. And then, now this is actually an interesting situation. Like, what do we do now? Because as we have seen, we need like we need 70 gold to max out on the economy budget. At least it will end up at 70 gold. And there's gonna be 2 more waves from now. And then once we have that, we can actually grab the supply depot, grab a few, maybe not all the upgrades for the outpost price, just a few, and then immediately start putting down some outposts. So maybe wave 5 or 6, we should have our first outposts down, because I don't think it's worth waiting around all that much for those. Now what we can do actually in the meantime is just grab the druid house so that we start replenishing this health. And then even if a few get through, which I don't know if that will be the case because of this banner, then that won't be that big of a deal, because we're just going to be regenning 2 every round. Now this is fantastic, Path of Nature. This is exactly what we need. Okay, and we have popped the first resource efficiency. Like I said, I think we're going to keep going with outposts, so I think this is the next logical thing to grab. And then, yeah, 1 more pop of gold from that, and then we can start putting down a few more, or a few outposts. And then a few more towers, because I don't really want to, you know, like, calculate it as much as we did last time, that we were left with 2 HP and 3 HP and all that, and that was purely by luck. So I don't want to make it sound like that was completely intentional. But I really don't want to be that close to getting screwed by this. Man, all of these are good. Tower upgrades, -1 gold per tower level. That's actually very nice. And brings 100 wood. Let's bring 100 wood. I went with fire rate. Could go with crit rate, crit chance. We don't have the banner for it, but next time we could potentially have banner that will further increase that. Let's go with crit chance. Let's try that out. Okay, so this is what I meant. We can grab the 70 gold, max out on the economy budget, go down here, grab the supply depot, and now this is the most optimal price we can get out of this. Now, in total, this is going to be around 150. But that will reduce the price by 15%. Let's see where that gets us, actually. Okay, now this general collector is actually huge over here. 15. And we can put down another one. That's 4 gold. That's going to be 6 gold. It's going to be a lot. Ooh. Okay, let's do this. And we can even put down more. Okay, this is a good opening. I actually like this. I like where this is going. Yeah, so 3 outposts, 2 general collectors, and the stonemason, excuse me. That will allow us to grab another arc tower next round. Okay, I love it. Now I want to use our gold, so that it's just not just hanging there or something. Like this. Okay, so that's going to be a lot more wood. Okay, I like this actually. And this shouldn't be a problem, right? The next wave. Sure, we will take some damage. It's always part of it. Or right, just use our spells and not actually take damage. Okay, we have lightning surge. We have opening blitz again, and then chain echo. I don't know what would be badass if we were to reroll this and get maybe a higher rarity. Okay. And it's chain crits. Fuck yeah. This is exactly what I was looking for. Okay. Although the jumps are also very good. I think the jumps might actually be the best in the early game. Come to think of it. Because that's one form of AoE, you know. At least that's how I see it. This is going to cover that much. I'm just trying to eyeball which is better. I think this might be a little bit more and more outposts. Except, wow, these are just... Okay, then let's go with this 14. And that's about it. So what should be our next move, actually? Because this is fantastic. We're slowly making some stone and slowly making some... Well, not really making anything, and very slowly making some gold. I think... That's a tough choice, actually. What should we go next? Because this is nice, but it's also a huge investment. I'm eventually probably going to go with smelting again. Except I don't want to rush it like last time, because I feel like we have wasted a tremendous amount of resources and time just because I really wanted to grab that and see what we can do with that. And I don't want to make that mistake again. Okay, so we are dealing with the blue HP ones. That's nice. I don't want to send them on a mission yet because we're really low on workers at this point. Now we have a few options right now because of our gold. And I think one good option would be to just grab trade ships. Maybe not all of them. Question is, if we don't grab all of them, what else can we grab? We could go with the tavern. Or actually on another note, what we could do is just essentially guarantee that the boss wave is going to be easy by going with the quarry, putting all of our workers in there, boosting the production a little bit. And I think, if I recall correctly, then yeah, we are able to grab Superior Architecture 1. And this way we can kind of guarantee that the boss wave is going to be easy, because we can put down at least 2 towers. Actually, maybe 3. Could that be 3? It's going to be close. Close to 3 more towers. And as you can see, we kind of need it already. So it's not really an option. So you can put down 3 more towers, and then next wave we can also put down some towers. So we might end up with a excess amount of towers that we don't actually need. But that's good, because then we can just start focusing on economy, which is still something that I want to do, is just try to build that at least in the thousands of income, without dying, of course. Each boss kill grants +1 banner reroll. +1 banner. Well, we only have 2 banner rerolls, and I used 1, so this is actually nice. Okay, I'm gonna grab that. Okay, and as I said, we might be able to build 3 of these. No, but it's very close. Yeah, it is. Okay, so next time it's gonna be 72 plus 84. 72 plus 84. Ooh, that's also gonna be close. We might be able to afford 2 more, or we can just pop down this 9. So then we can definitely afford one more, excuse me, Arc Tower. And I think that should be enough. I mean, that would be really surprising if that wasn't enough, especially if we can grab the, yeah, the Lightning Surge, which you don't yet have. But if you can grab that, that would be huge. Let's slow these guys down. Let's slow these guys down again. So as you can see, this still isn't enough. Okay, let's reduce the research waves. And here's Lightning Surge. Perfect. It's only 1%. It's kind of crap. Yes, and this is the 2 more towers there. Okay, so this is all the towers I want to open up with, and hopefully this will be enough for the boss wave. And from this point on, wow, that's nice. From this point on, I only want to focus on economy. And the way we're going to do that is, once again, this going for villagers or workers might not be the best idea. This is the only idea I have right now. And the reason I'm saying this might not be the best idea because it takes a lot of waves for this to actually just conclude, you know. 42, we might even be able to pay 8 gold to get 10 wheat. Okay, then we can actually grab a worker immediately. So yeah, this might take so much time that it's actually going to turn out that it's not worth just going for workers. Another option would be to just only go for 1 worker every wave. So for example, now I would, you know, try to get around 56 wheat for next round. We'll do one more round this way with extreme focus on workers. Of course, the best would be to just grab the worker hire cost minus 30% if we were to go with workers. I'm not sure if that's even, you know, that's a thing. Like, you're either like a worker guy or an outpost guy, if that makes sense. Or we just lose. No, we don't. Okay, so that was still very close. So I'm not sure if, you know, you need to make like a stand. Which one do you want? Do you want to go with workers, or do you want to go with more outposts? Would be nice if we could go with both. Okay, we can grab the passive off of this one. Not sure. The Swift Service. I mean, we can afford selling. That. Yep. Okay. And why did I do that? Because. Yeah, because I wanted this. Okay, Swift Service 10%, so that's a little bit more wheat. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can get. Now this Artifact of Determination. This would have been fantastic to have this early in the game in the previous run. Because I feel like when I picked this up, that was actually a very bad thing to do, because we were hovering around 600 gold, and I should have just spent all that gold in manually upgrading the towers instead of, for 4 waves you can't do anything. Now the 120 gold is nice, but I feel like in the long run this is going to pay off extremely well. Okay, and Lightning Surge, absolutely. Okay, okay. And I think we'll just proceed. I try not to die. That wouldn't be nice. Okay, one more tower. I don't want to turn this into like an addiction. Just one more tower. One more tower. This is gonna be the last tower. Okay, now that was firepower. Okay, nice. Because, you know, if we can see that this is easy, and this currently is, then we can definitely just focus on economy. We don't have to worry about anything else. What about the brewery? Let's grab this. And Swift Service. So I want to max out Swift Service because that will also help us in grabbing more workers. Yeah, I screwed up because now we don't have the wood, but that's okay because we wouldn't have enough wheat to grab all the workers regardless. We could just wait around for conservation, but that would be 4 waves, and like I said, I don't want to waste time with this stuff. Might go with the rare banner. So at least this first luck university upgrade, I'm gonna go with this to at least have 1 rare banner, which is currently guaranteed to be an Arc Tower banner, and then we can get back to all of these other researches. Okay, so our guild hall is still shit, unsurprisingly. We could grab the statue, but like I said, I kind of want to move away from the Arc Tower this time around, or see if we can even move away from the Arc Tower, because feels like the Arc Tower and maybe the Runestone Tower is such a good opener, and then I'm just stuck with, you know, I'm just stuck with the tower, and then the banners of those towers are making those towers even better, and then by the end of the game, I still just have Arc Towers, and I really couldn't transition off of it. I threw this in as a discussion in the last video. I'm recording this very close to the previous episode, so if you guys left some amazing observations and suggestions, I haven't seen those yet. So in case you, you know, in case we had some good conversation about those topics. Okay, more workers, and actually, oh yeah, we can. Nice, we can grab a bunch of other workers. Okay, perfect. So we will have enough wood. God damn it. Okay, so we'll have a ton of wood. And then 3 more workers, which is going to be a total of 300, 400, 462. If I did the math correctly, so still not going to be enough, but we are going to be very close. We're going to be 1 off. And I actually don't mind that. Wave 13 maxed out on, or almost maxed out on workers. I'm happy about that. Yeah, that's pretty good, and then we can start distributing the workers all over the place. And actually, should have grabbed the Swift service, because we have enough gold. Maybe this, and just resourceful deals, just in case we grab a chest. Ice Strike freezes for 3 seconds. That's actually huge against bosses. He just freezes ass and it's a whole lot of extra damage. Tower construction cost doesn't really play well with our heavy eco-focused run, but the others I don't really like gold per worker and gold mine +2. That's not going to be a factor, I think. And these seem like so little values. Except for maybe each worker generates 4 gold, especially if we get up to like 18 workers or how much that was. But that's still... It still doesn't seem all that much. I'm pretty sure we can like drop a few general extractors and get that amount. So I'm just gonna go with tower cost. And then fire rate for the arc towers. Yep. Go with that because that will once again play very well into the chance of lightning surge triggering, chance of critical hits, which will build up perfectly into more critical chance. Very good. Plus 10% when demolishing a tower. Now, last episode, actually, I think I screwed us over because I demolished towers. So, I don't know. However, wait a second. We had... Oh, but I didn't pick it up. Now I cannot pick it up. Pick this up, right? Every purchase in the market increases the chances of high rarities. I'm not sure. Does this go back? Like if I were to, you know, grab all the relics now and grab this, does that mean that we'll essentially accumulate to the next one? I hope so. You know, let's grab this. Let's claim all of our gold. What's this? Have you seen this before? All elite enemies now have significantly more hit points. The next 4 elite enemies' chests only contain banners. Oh man. Now that I would absolutely love to have. A lot more banners. But I really don't feel like we can take... I mean, significantly more health. I don't know if we're prepared for that. But I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? That elite gets through, deals 3 damage to the village, and that's it. Okay, so who cares? Next construction, building tower outpost is for free. Shit, that would have been nice to have later. And look, it actually is free. Nice. I mean, right now the only thing that's actually, well, maybe a general extractor. Yeah, because look at that, the next one would be 330, so that's actually a lot of money. Maybe go for this 800. So that's going to be for free. A lot of income. Okay, I'm going to go with that. I don't want to build towers, like I said, because we don't need to. And actually, kind of screwed up the math there. I'm not sure what I was focusing on, because that clearly was enough for all the workers. Okay, fine. And now what I'm thinking is we're just going to start distributing the workers across all of these. So a few in gold so that we can, you know, still grab our eco upgrades. But at the same time, I want a few workers on stone. And actually want a lot of workers on wood, because I want to start working on our outpost situation, while on the side working on these eco upgrades through gold. And actually specialization through gold as well, right? Maybe screw stone. Go with mass gold. I mean, we can do that because the next arc tower is only 101. And we might even go with runestone tower, which is even less. Okay. Now this area over here, now that's an area. That is exactly the kind of area that I want to put most of the towers. Okay, so this is the significantly increased 32,900. Now that is significant. These guys are... Oh, wow. Oops. I mean, these guys are also getting through. The good thing is he's going to be alone. But I really don't know. You can freeze him twice for 3 seconds. So when he's in the middle, especially without lightning surge, is this worth actually trying to... No, we can only build one more tower. Okay, so unlucky. Yeah, we didn't have the firepower for that, unsurprisingly. That was a lot. Okay. Now, since we're maxed out on workers, I would love to send some for legendary banners. Yeah, this actually would be nice. Wait, the next 4 elite enemy chests. Oh, wait a second. So if I don't kill the elite enemy, then this stays, because it didn't drop any chests. So that also means that we're going to be infinitely screwed by the elites unless we can take them out. Okay, well, that's a plot twist. Interesting. Okay, more eco upgrades, more upgrades on wood. I want to prioritize that. Also, soon I probably want to drop a few towers because we are really on the edge again, unfortunately. Okay, maybe one more round of outposts. Let's see if we can find something good. 9 over here. Maybe some wood outpost. Not really. Well, over here. Excuse me. Okay, let's do this. And then... Okay, so next wave, if we survive, hopefully we do, then what I'm going to do is grab superior architecture, move a few guys over to stone, and just start building up this choke point over here. Because I feel like this is going to be the kind of area that we should start settling in. And I'm not going to demolish those towers. There's absolutely no way I'm going to demolish those. We have seen what happened last time. And another elite, well, the problem is we won't be able to take him out. Does he have shield, by the way? No, only block. Okay, well... Okay, so luckily this isn't a problem. Would be nice to have the statue thing, but that would kind of really mean that we're going to stick with our towers. Okay, now this is not good, because we are mixing in... Yeah, okay, so once again we got through. Not good. Okay, probably want to go with jumps. A little bit of AoE. Okay, so now superior architecture. I could even go with a forge. Forge over here. But then again, that will need 50 more gold, as we have seen, and we don't have that much. Okay, so screw that. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to place a bunch of towers over here, as much as I can. And actually... Oh, you know what would be nice? If these guys could reach this entire arc. So I'm going to focus on range this time around. Yes. Or can we fuse this? We can fuse it with the runestone tower. Okay. Okay, let's put a few runestone towers over there. We could go full penetration with them. Or the other route is just go with maybe range or something else and then manually add on these upgrades, as we could have done last time. You know what, let's do that. If we play with range, then we're actually playing for the focus rune, or what's it called, right? Because that means it increases the damage every second. I don't know if there's a cap to it, but increases the damage every second. So technically, the bigger the range, the longer it will focus on the same target, or it can focus on the same target. I think that's a good one. And man, we have so much stuff in here. What are even these? Increases the choice of legendary relics that the boss drops. Has 1% and 2% chance to get legendary banners. Has 2% and 4% chance to rare banners. More rerolls. And more banishes. Yeah, we do need these. 1 reroll for Oracle Choice, banish for Oracle Choice. Yep. Yeah, that will be a huge thing to get in the future, for sure. Okay, maybe advanced towers? No, eco focus. Which means we're gonna grab that. We are going to grab. Oh, this is interesting. Let's grab 1 trade ship and 1 of these. One of the wildlife rituals. Okay. Oh, and we can research. Let's get down here to at least we have 2 rare banners in each. Do we need that? Oh, let's go with trade ships. Okay, now I don't expect this to do all that much. But I mean, it's not bad. That's not bad at all. Especially if they pop all the... Actually, hold on a minute. Let's put this back. And you focus on the boss and pop all the spawners. Well, this should be a walk in the park for these towers to take out. Man, we could have made so much gold. Okay, I mean, screw it. We're not gonna have the statue power for something else, but I really don't want to waste this much gold because all of these skills are essentially potentially wasted gold. So I'm gonna grab the statue, max out on Blessing of Wealth, and go with the Arc Tower. And then, you know, it's how much is 25%? Yeah, that is significant, but we'll survive. Okay, and now we can actually grab this. It probably won't be that huge. Yeah, 40% more, so a total of 24%. Okay, not the best, but also that's pretty nice. Okay, what next? Market event is actually next time around, so we could have all these market-related stuff. Mission return, market offer. We have a bunch of shit coming next time. Okay, 40 more gold. Let's max out on the trade ship because that will play nicely into our next research, which is very far away actually. Okay, and then we can afford another runestone tower. Here in the edge, this is gonna cover a wide angle. Okay, let's see. Oathing Feast, sure. Increases your tavern's productivity bonus by your workers by 10 and 20%. Wow. That's very nice. Okay, yeah, we need these meta progressions ASAP. I feel like we still have so much possibility if we grab those. Or I mean, we are missing out on a lot of things currently because I don't have many things on lock. Okay. And now this is easy. I'm still not going to demolish those towers because they have a bunch of upgrades. Well, the early ones should have. I mean, not that much, but I don't know when you take towers apart, you know? Like, we could do it now, but this would reach a bunch of other things as well. I mean, this is a nice arc also for... Oh, and holy shit, that is... No, that's a spot. You know what? I just want to see it. 44. Okay. Once again, at the 50s. Okay, nice. Okay, nice. Let's grab these, because I want to reduce the upgrade cost of towers as soon as possible. Oh, I was an idiot. Actually, it's next round when we have the market offer. Okay. So this is not going to be all that much. Yep. Probably better to go with some passive income for gold. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't... Let's grab Wildlife Ritual, let's max that out. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what to get right now. We could then play against the specializations and once again grab the extra amount of workers and even the brewery. I think that was ultimately pretty good. That's not why we lost. Okay, nice. If we could establish a good position over there, then these guys will only have to worry about this one lonely spawning. And that wouldn't be bad at all. Okay, and now we're making some good amount of gold, I guess. I mean, from the statue. Okay, prism. Fuck that. Excuse me. Okay. Productivity bonus due to beer increases by 30%. Hell yeah. Arc towers deal 60% of the damage, but jumps 3 times. Ay. I don't know. All towers deal plus 25% damage in boss waves. Okay, thank you very much for that. So this is what I meant. Focus rune. We can actually banish prism. We're not going to use that. And magical charge. So currently it seems like that we are actually going to use the runestone towers for damage dealing as well, so it's not just going to be a support. So I think focus rune would actually work pretty well. What the hell? Okay. So that was kind of successful. We have made 30 gold so far on the statue upgrade. Perfect. Let's max this out. And let's just clean everything up. Especially these passive incomes and especially those which boost the productivity of workers, especially if we have a lot of workers in those. That's nice. And I think we can take out workers from that, absolutely. Any good hexes? Still no. Well, we have a 9 over there. Yeah, these aren't good. These aren't really good. Okay, whatever. So, we're gonna have... We need... How much was this? 40, 80, and 120? 40, 80, and 120, something like that. So that's going to be 200, 240 approximately. We have that amount. That's good. We will have enough for this specialization once it drops down to 250. And that means we can put everyone into the mill. Don't think it's going to be worth taking out the gold. No, screw that. And then we'll grab all the extra workers that we can. Okay, so we have these armored assholes. I think let's focus on penetration now with the arc towers, so that will happen. And if we need some extra range, then I will manually add them on later using our gold. Okay, so far this is actually very nice. I love this. I'm not sure that one small thing of grabbing the grabbing the rune forge in the first place and then grabbing the specialization is what really got us ahead this time. Really not sure. Okay, so let's not screw this up. Oh, it's 125. Okay, so the last one is 125. Noted. One more worker per house. And almost we managed to max that out. Okay, nice. This will be... Oh, let's add a little bit extra. And then I want this specialization. We have a good amount of outposts this time around. So actually this specialization now makes sense. And we can even grab that. Look at that. So this can be... So in terms of wheat, we're going to be at 240. That's enough. Check that out. Okay. Oh, it's boss time. Shit, I didn't pay attention. Okay. Okay, and yeah, this is once again really awkward, right? That the boss got through because we will have time to regenerate. So that is why eventually we definitely want this position to act like the last line of defense, because this one in the beginning is not going to do all that much. I might actually take it apart, but I mean after last time I'm really afraid to take anything apart. Okay, so let's see what difference this makes. Holy shit, it jumped from 222 on stone to 370. Huge. Plus 50% damage for your current most built tower type at the time you obtain this relic, which is going to be the Arc Tower. Now, actually, question. Currently, it's obvious that it's the Arc Tower. But otherwise, how would I tell that it's the Arc Tower? Because this statistic, this is the current damage. And this 15, Wait, is this actually the number? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually it. This is actually the number of towers. Current damage. What I'm afraid of is this isn't actually the total number of towers. This is just the number of towers that actually dealt damage. Right? So if we were to able to take out everything over here, then maybe this would be like, you know, however many towers we have over here, less. Okay, anyways, in case anyone knows that, do let me know. But this is fantastic. Trinity, don't care. Jumps, I do care. Okay. Fantastic. And now we have the specialization coming from there, so we can actually start spamming out a bunch of outposts. Fantastic. Let's grab all of these and let's clean up these upgrades. Okay. Well, we're gonna need a little bit more gold. Oh, and one more worker. Check that out. Out of nowhere. Okay. Now, you know what? Since these are these are kind of shitty. Since these are kind of shitty, I don't actually want to waste my resources on building these outposts. I'm just not going to build outposts then. Screw you. Okay, nice. And then some runestone towers in the edges. Perfect. I don't think. Okay, I am going to put one worker at least, because check out the difference. Just putting one worker there is like 60 something, 64 stone. So I definitely want at least one worker, so that we can capitalize on maxing out the first upgrade of each. If that makes sense. Okay. Now what we also could do is just set up this location to be like a slow area with some frost towers. I mean, shit, we can even... I mean, you guys want to see more fuses. Hopefully that will fuse with something very nicely. Let's go with one more legendary banner. Runic Fire Aura. Too bad it's common, but it's a Runic Fire Aura nonetheless. Now this one. So essentially, if I just want this to be for slowing down purposes, then I would go with the fire rate. The only problem is this fire rate scales like ass. Look at that, 0.02. It's actually very nice that it ignores the block. Or it ignores blocks, because otherwise these would be horrendous. I mean, we could go with range. But then the problem with range, if you know, we have like as a scenario, if we have like 10 of these frost towers and each pop at the same time because they reach every location, then that doesn't really make sense. Actually, is it the case that you want these to have the smallest range possible? Because then, you know, the one over here will pop. Okay, maybe freeze, maybe not. The one over here will pop again. Maybe freeze, maybe not. But if all pop over here, well, I guess technically... No, because if they're frozen, then they're frozen. Freezing doesn't stack, right? Well, if freezing doesn't stack, then I'm correct in spacing out the frost towers. If freezing does stack, then I'm not correct. Because then it doesn't matter how many pop for the same group of enemies, if that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna go with the fire rate option this time around and see what we can do. Okay, 19. And these are really not good. We finally get to a point where we don't die, and now we cannot build. Or we cannot find good locations for these damn outposts. Well, maybe later on. I do have this maxed out, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay, well then, that is very awkward. Okay, well, let's grab all the passives and everything else, especially this one. Especially the workshop upgrades for advanced towers is huge. So all the towers you have will be upgraded as soon as possible. Or sooner, I should say. Okay. Oh, I don't have anything in here. Gain +1 banner option on missions. What do you mean +1 banner option on missions? Okay. Every 3 waves you can select the next tile when exploring. What? What? That's actually... That sounds very interesting, actually. Gain information about the future wave formation. Okay. All of these are fantastic, actually. Start each future game with a common relic. What the hell? Yeah, so with all these extra like legendary shit that we can pick up, I think that will actually make a huge difference. I mean, I know that many of you have said that until I've unlocked everything, I shouldn't really have high expectations. I kind of see why you guys said that. Okay, now since we cannot really build outposts, I'm just gonna move a few guys away from wood, except for one, and that's it. Now the ultimate question again is, what should we go with next? I mean, I think we can work our way down this way because we are just getting a bunch of common banners. And we can also play towards the magic damage plays into the damage of the runestone tower situation. Oh man, we are eating these guys up. Oh, and there we have another elite enemy. Let's freeze him. Freeze him again. And almost, but he's... Nope, not almost. Okay. Perfect. So let's first upgrade this into 6 seconds of freeze. Perfect. Pier productivity would be nice, or tower construction. At this point, I'm just going to go with tower construction. Ooh, +1 jump. +1 jump versus all of these. Let me know in the comments which one would you pick from these at this point. Like fire rate, we discussed that. That's huge. Jumping is also extremely nice. Arc tower damage, probably I wouldn't go with that this time around. And fire rate for all towers is just, you know, in general. Very nice. Yeah, like which one would you pick out of these? Honestly, I would continue going with the arc tower fire rate. Okay, so this shit, the next 4 elite enemy chests only contain banners. And it's true. We have the chill explosion, perfect. We can start freezing the enemies. Okay, very nice. Nice. Anything good in here? I mean... Damn. No. More towers. I mean, there's gotta be like better hexes than that, right? No way, that's the best. I'm just going to grab these spell damage stuff. For the sake, if we can grab the banner for the runestone tower. And then sponsoring adds resources to the next mission rewards. I never actually understood what this does. But I'm going to grab it because it's only 40 something gold. Okay, we don't need this much gold. I'm just going to distribute. And we're just going to build towers until we see the opportunity to build a lot of outposts. But I really don't want to burn like, you know, like 220... Well, I mean, these two probably are worth it. Okay, I'm just going to grab those. Okay, let's see. So I reduced the volume last time. Hopefully this is better. I'm just looking at the sound waves. Kind of. Okay, perfect. What are these? The banner that you have picked the most is always offered in banner choice events. Now that we could actually check out which one that would be. I think that would be... Would that be Lightning Surge, actually? Yes, I think it would be. Because we have 2 common and 1 legendary banners of it. Okay, that is very nice. Receive 10 gold for every relic you own, including this one. So it would make sense to grab this before that, except that I don't want to reduce the elite enemies because we're dealing a lot of damage. So I'm just going to grab this. Okay, we actually made gold by buying stuff from the market. That's actually huge and hilarious. Okay. So I'm just going to continue building this up. On the edges, I just want stone towers. And in the middle, I'm just going to go with arc towers. And these are still focusing on rage. And this is what I meant, that now we can actually boost the penetration. We have this auto level threshold. So for example, if I put this on 3, it will automatically level. If I put this on 7, it will automatically level and we're at 50%. So if I press H to use this for all the towers, well, something happened. Okay. Ah, yes, of course, because the values are different for each towers based on when they were actually put down. Okay. But let's say we go with like 15 and apply. Okay, that's a lot more towers affected. Problem is I go with 20. Yeah, now I cannot apply that. So So I need to find the tower with like 25%. Perfect. Let's go with 20. Apply. And now we have burned through all of our gold. I would say that's amazing, but it's not. But it actually is, because now we have a ton of penetration. Okay. Nice. We can pull off the same trick with the arc towers as well, in case we need something. I guess barrier damage would come in handy soon. Man, I'm not sure if these 10 hexes are actually worth it. Any good for wood? No. 11. Takes so long for those to pay off. That's my only concern. Okay, let's see where we're at. Pretty good. I mean, down here we don't really need to focus all that much, right? Because this is just going to be one wave at max. At this point, we have kind of demolished that area. Ooh, I think research. Magical charge. That is exactly what I was talking about. Magical charge, spell damage. Spell damage bonus plus 12%. Currently, we're sitting at 198. Okay, that's nice. And now we have a first fusion. With an arc tower in range, a runestone tower gains a 10% chance to create its own jumps. Regular jump damage is multiplied by the share shown on this banner. Runestone towers jumping. That's a bit crazy. Lightning surge strikes can create a light burst, dealing the same damage as the lightning strike in front of and behind the impact. Haven't we seen this before? Or we've seen something similar. This damage scales by 3 times with magical charge, but ignores weakness. 3 times with magical charge. And we have magical charge. Dude, that's insane. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Nice. Shitty hexes. Okay, whatever. Let's put a few here just to make sure. Because for this spawner, this is the last line of defense, right? Because all of those won't be in range. Let's put a few of these frost towers here. I'm intentionally not putting them on the higher hexes based on the discussion we had earlier. Arc towers, I want to boost a little bit. Can we like shift? Yep, okay, so that's gonna be a 10 added. Let's add this much, and that burned through all of our gold as well. Okay, so that means we have pretty good barrier damage. At least for some of them. How are we doing in the guild hall? Pretty good. Okay. What else? I mean, there's really not much else. Well, building a bunch of outposts would be nice. Once again, I didn't pay attention. Okay, now this is apparently the stronger elite, and we just absolutely destroyed him. Okay, now let's see Thunder Clash. Oh, okay, he got destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. And we get a banner. Yep, Lightning Surge. Hell yeah. And now we're getting, I think, Chill Explosion. And damage to slowed enemies. Okay, that's a nice combo. And we can grab another Chill Explosion. Okay, that was disgusting and awesome. And only 12 from these. Okay, let's grab that 12. I'm not sure. Because there's also, I think there's also an argument to building towers, right? Because they will start upgrading. So I think that's also important to do at the same time, not just focus purely on eco and then not having towers. Actually, here would have been nice for runestones. Maybe I'm going to put a forge over there and continue on with runestones. Now at this point we could really just demolish all of these. Yeah, that would be a lot of resources. And towers in a much better position. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of towers. But these aren't really reaching anything. So it's actually a good question if how far we want to take this location. But then again, what you guys mentioned very correctly is we don't want to spread out our defense all that much, because then between the two, every enemy that has regeneration will just simply regenerate, and then we're nowhere. So I think we're just going to continue on upward, because these guys in the middle are, well, I mean, we can help them out, I guess. You know, I don't want to put down a bunch of towers who are not going to reach anything. That doesn't make any sense. Or we can just grab all this gold, actually, and just go insane on the range for the arc towers, and that's it. Okay, we'll see how far this gets us. Also, that little rectangle or whatever is the fusing. Yeah. Light burst. Okay, so that's an elite with a bunch of health. I'm pretty sure that elite had actually more health than the previous boss.
Research complete.
Okay, and this will also be a banner. Perfect. Let's go with the fuse. Okay, so now the ultimate question that I've been asking in the previous episode is how do you transition out of this situation, right? Well, let's say I want more fuses. Okay, the frost tower is an obvious one, right? Because we'll eventually pick up, I think, one more banner, right? Because we need 4 for the next fusion. Okay, so that's obvious. But what if I want more? So do I just randomly start building like volcano mortars or any of the other towers, like Raven towers that screwed us over last time, shadow towers or whatever? Because right now we're doing very good with our towers for obvious reasons, because we have a ton of banners. 21. You know what? I'm just going to continue building up this location. Maybe the other side is going to be the frost towers. Okay, like so. I'm going to grab those because we just need more resources. Okay. Production worker bonus. All tower damage. 2 rare events in banner. Choice. I mean, yes. 8 or 6 waves. Or plus 15 damage for all towers. Into crit chance. Into. I mean, at this point, we're probably going to be dead. To be honest. Even this 7. That's going to be wave 33 by the time this actually pops. But the same for this. It's just going to be wave 32. Yeah, unless we can survive like for extreme lengths, which I doubt. The way we lost that wave 36 was insane. Like, it just felt like we couldn't kill anyone. The next research doesn't really matter. Go with tower damage, I guess. Okay, so we're starting to have these regenerating guys. What I'm going to do... The runestone towers... Okay, so I want someone to focus on these group healers. But I also want to focus on the minion spawners, right? Because if we kill the minion spawner in the end, then they're just gonna run into our base and it's over. But it's going to take more time to kill the... or take out the minion spawners if they're being regenerated. So I guess we need to focus on regenerating ones into the closest. Aye, aye, aye. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's gonna be the next thing I need to think about, is how to prioritize our targets. Focus rune. Or more lightning surge. Trinity, I mean, we can just ban Trinity. We won't need that. I see death. Zone DPS. Now for that we would need range, right? But that would give us a fusing. Is that worth picking up, or should we try re-rolling? It's just interesting that all of these banners are rare. Is that going to be guaranteed if I re-roll? I'm not sure. Should we attempt a re-roll? Yes. Oh shit. Oh shit. Aye, aye, aye. Wasn't a good idea. Let's at least go with more fire rate. Yeah, I should have gone with the DPS and defusing, I guess. My bad. Okay, so that is going to be a runestone tower because it's close to the edge. They don't really have range. And these are going to be arc towers. Okay. Yeah, that reroll was a bad idea. It was just so interesting that every tower was rare, or every banner was rare. I thought that would be the case after a reroll, but clearly not. Okay, good news is that the barriers are getting taken out pretty quickly, and plus the wooden stone towers don't care about the barriers, so it's even better. I mean, so far this is smooth as hell. But I'm really just worried about what the hell happened at wave 36. Wheat production per worker is increased by +5. We have 1 worker in there, so... I mean, the only reason I would pick this up is to increase the chance of the thingy we have. I mean, sure, why not pick them? These are essentially for free at this point, based on their prices. Okay, good range. So good range, let's put some more of these guys there. And still not really good access. The only other thing we could burn our wood is to start building arrow towers for maybe bleed damage. But that would also be like a very big investment, right? This could be a potentially good location for that. Building a bunch of arrow towers, grabbing a bunch of gold to upgrade their range, and then they can essentially shoot everything. Although if they get through over here, then it's probably already over. It's not going to be the arrow towers bleeding that will stop them from getting any further. Okay, now we have... This is going to be the last elite enemy with increased HP. And didn't really stand a chance, which is actually nice to see. I would never take this. I would take this. Yeah, this Frost Magician, I'm not sure if I like this, honestly. Runic Fire Aura is still amazing, but this... That is even better, I think. By the way, I think I messed something up. For every 10th kill by spells cast by the hero, receive 2% spell damage. Yeah, I should have tried to kill enemies with spells. Yeah, I missed out on that one. So actually put some runestone towers over there. Okay, and some arc towers, and once again getting very close to these arc towers, not even giving the chance to shoot anyone. Okay, damn, that was... I thought I had so much gold, and then it turns out I did not. Okay. So, I think we don't have anything else to really build. I mean, these 10s are like the edge of what I would say is worth building on top of. And since we're in the edge of the map over here, this is the amount of outposts that we will have, most likely. Which is a little bit disappointing, considering the kind of resource locations we have seen in the previous episode. Oh shit, Dark Whisper got absolutely demolished. That was ridiculous. I didn't even see him coming, and then he just... HP bar just disappeared. Okay. So... yeah, let's just grab a banner for the Frost Tower so we can get some fusions. Why is there so many... oh, wait a second. Frost Towers also fuse with Arc Towers. Ah, okay. So we have 4 things to check out. Okay. Increases the critical damage of Arc Towers that attack a slowed enemy. Perfect. Especially this critical damage, because these guys are good at building up critical hits. Slowed enemies take additional spell damage. We're not doing too good on spell damage. The DPS increase per second from Icy Wave is increased according to the share of Focus Rune. And we have Focus Rune. And we have Icy Death. Right? That's what I... no, I picked up Cold Snap, sorry. Okay. The slow value is applied to a certain share to enemies attacked by the Runestone Tower, additive with slow from the Frost Tower. So essentially the Runestone Towers will also slow enemies. Bro, that's insane. And the reason that's insane is because our Runestone Towers will focus on the big baddies all the time. And if they will also slow them down, albeit 20% share, right? Let's try that out. That's actually... Fusion Mastery. Gain 2 fusions in 1 run. Path of Discovery. Complete 50... couldn't read it. 1 second, I'll just check Steam. Path of Discovery. Complete 50% of all possible discoveries. Okay. Whatever that means. It's damage. Yes, please. Actually, I really like that. Okay, now we have the fuse both fusions as well. That's huge. This lightning surge is also huge, very good for AoE, but also this slowing value. Man. And plus we have the runic fire aura, so basically all three of these is something that I would pick up. Let's go with more slowing. What? Wait. Oh yeah, because that was a Frost Tower banner, so we got another fusion. This time with the Arc Tower and the Frost Tower. I assume this is also part of that. Or not. Increases the critical damage. Okay, then let's pick this up as well. Oh, that was insane. Okay, that's actually fantastic. It makes a lot of sense to grab these fusions. It's just the fusions that, you know, require other forms of towers are the ones that I'm still not entirely sure when would be a good time to get that. But I guess that's going to be a question for a very long time for me. Okay, so we're left with these 10s, but we don't really spend our wood on anything else. I guess that makes sense to grab. Not too much in here. Okay, we could probably burn most of these resources, maybe on some penetration for those who can do it under 10 gold. Good. Actually, maybe some range would have been nice as well. Okay, well, we'll see how far we... I don't want to forget about this position down here, because that might actually screw us over in the long run. Because with all honesty, you know, this is just 2 more spawners compared to this. So I guess this is fair, because here we have 2 groups of defense, and here we have 1 group of defense, except this is a little bit lackluster because of the lack of arc towers. So I think I might actually build this up a little bit more. Okay, thank you very much. Oops, we should have had a worker at least 1 worker. This is probably not the best spot for an arc tower, but you know what, I'm not going to demo him. Little bit of... So I can definitely feel that eco-wise we are starting to starve. In the sense that I'm able to place less and less stuff down. Should probably eventually that will lead to our loss at around wave 36 or whatever. Hopefully we can get to wave 37. So wait, is this like infinitely grabbable? Okay, I don't want to waste all of my gold on that. So really, what to do? Because the next specializations are like super damn expensive. And I mean, this would... Yeah, so this is probably the only other specialization I would grab. But it's 5,000 wood. That would be 5 rounds. 5 rounds in, as in not building anything that requires wood. We could still build some towers. Very interesting. Yeah, so these guys down here are actually making some progress. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm not sure where to get more resources from. I mean, clearly it would have been nice if we had some better hexes with like 17 and 18 per outpost, sure. But we would have eventually run out of that as well. So maybe like a few hundred more. It's, you know, it's not crazy. We can't do much with these spells, I think. Let's continue with cheaper towers. Arc tower fire rate increased even further, or more damage for the runestone tower. That's also nice, I think. Let's go with more fire rate and another banner. I don't want to lose out on the slow effect. just to get some extra damage from these guys. I would rather just banish this one, honestly. Let's do magical charge. Okay, now we can put a bunch of people in here. Yeah, but we definitely need to build up this location, I think. And shit, we need some barrier damage as well. This will eat away all of our gold, right? Yep. I mean, at this point we have so many towers that that's bound to happen. Yeah, there's not much we can do. It's only those 10 fields. Yeah, very interesting. Like, what do you do at this point? All things sure. Yeah, this location down here needs some work. That was an elite. So one thing that I don't quite understand is, hold on. Relax the markers cost less. All towers deal 50% damage. Demolishing towers now only refunds 10% of the original cost. Cannot be increased by anything. We're not going to be demolishing. Cost of new. We're not going to be hiring workers, but you know it's at least a relic. Slow value. Yeah. Okay, and I mean this is just pathetic at this point. Maybe not the gold. Okay. So yeah, this is the location I want to build up a little bit more, especially with some frost towers, and that's all we can put down. Yep. Yeah, eco-wise, we need to think of something for the subsequent runs. What would be insane to do right now is to remove everyone from here and put them on. Oh, but that's only going to be 700. I want to grab at least the penetration upgrades. Okay, then never mind. A lot in stone. Yeah, maybe like this. Also, the barriers are starting to stick. Like that one. And that would be extremely awkward, seriously, if we lost because of this position down here, as opposed to the position up there. So what I didn't understand, and I still don't understand, is there's a lot of like immune text coming up, especially down here. And down here, most of the, or all of the towers who did damage were arc towers who supposedly block or ignore all the blocks. So how did that happen? So I read a chance. Okay. Okay. Let's go with
research completed.
Oh, finally. It was the longest time. Yep. It was wave 34. Okay. And now the next wave is 9 waves from now. I have my doubts that we're going to survive. So at this point, it really doesn't matter what we pick. Could go for a little bit of critical chance. I'd rather go with banners, I think, but I don't think it matters. Anything we can demolish just to, you know, why not? Oh, that's still 20% extra damage. Sure. More runestones over here. Well, one more runestone. Okay, in general, let's see if we can do like barrier damage. It's going to eat away all of our gold. Yes, of course. So we can claim that. Actually, boss wave, hold on. So boss wave is probably a good idea. Let's see how many penetration can be upgraded. Whew. Okay, rip. Ay, ay, ay. When you think 550 gold is something, then you click a button and it's all gone. Okay, can we even take out this boss? That's a very good question. Yeah, he was extremely slowed down. That's actually fantastic. Maybe we could use more runestone towers and on frost towers in that location to further slow down. Grants a choice of a legendary banner. All building constructions. Well, we're not going to be building any more buildings, and I'm not sure about this with a legendary banner. Okay. Limestone. Okay. Slowing. Perfect. So yeah, exactly what I said. Some runestone towers here in the middle. And I mean, we could use some arc towers behind them. These have very shitty ranges, unfortunately. Yeah, that's unsurprising. Okay, so my entire sound system crashed. That was fantastic. Hopefully we can... Hopefully the sound can survive for the next couple of waves. Because I don't know how far we are going to make it. Okay, let's see. So wave 36, this is how far we got last time. And this might actually be how far we get this time. This might actually still be extremely loud because of the damn lightning strikes. Sound effect volume. Does this affect? Okay, I think that's better. Yeah, maybe not the master volume, but that one. Okay. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like this is a new personal record. No, because this is wave 36. Sorry, this is what we survived last time, so the next wave would be a personal record. Okay. Let's grab this one. And then some more towers here. Maybe let's add on some range. I added the range to the same one, didn't I? Yep. Okay. And maybe some slowing down. Really here in the middle is where it will make sense. Because out here, I mean, I don't think we can snipe all that many stuff if they get through over here. Okay, so this would be a new personal record for me if we were to survive this round. Wave 37. Oh my god, that guy on... Okay, and those are not... almost not even taking any damage, and they spawn minions. That's very bad. And this is still extremely loud, isn't it? Screw it. Wait. Oh my god, what the... Undead monster, 1.228500 HP. Oh, so that's the immunity. So it's not that the arc towers actually missed, even though they're not supposed to... Neutralizes 5 attacks in total. That's like horseshit. Spawns minions on death, so it's a spawner, and regenerates 2000 of its own HP per second. Holy shit. Well, it's not gonna lose us the game, that's for sure, but... actually, wait a second, it's not even going to get far. Okay. All towers dear... No. First enemy to touch the village shield receives 40,000 area damage. I mean, if we just look at this guy was 1.2 million, and this would trigger 40,000. One banish per tower type. Okay, let's grab it. Let's grab that one, I think. I mean, the other one I don't think would have done all that much for us. So this down here, I'm still not really sure about this position. In terms of how good it is, because it doesn't feel like it's so good. Okay, and more outposts on our shitty hexes. Problem is we're even starting to run out of shitty hexes. What does that leave us with? Okay, a little bit more barrier damage. Yes. We have so much wheat, and we don't have this specialization. Or this specialization. This specialization down here. Yeah. I think... I mean, ultimately, we could have got that, but at the same time, because we didn't, we ended up with a bunch of towers. Holy shit, that guy just bursted out of there. Yeah, this location down here might be a downfall. We're getting very close to the edge. But this was a personal record, so let's just celebrate the previous round. Uh-oh. Oh, they just vanished. Okay. Hell yeah. I guess that's another personal record then, right? Next common, whatever. These are for free at this point. Okay. Wow. That's very nice. We're 2 waves above our personal record, guys. Still with 2, technically 3 towers. Yep. But yeah, this is very nice. Now this location down here is. It got close to. Was it a spawner from down here or up here that got so close? Got this far. Yeah, because these guys suddenly have so much HP that we can. Yep. Okay, this is going to be the end, isn't it? Especially if these are spawners. No, they're not spawners. They're third golems. Okay, well, I mean, if they individually get through, then that's not really a problem. But this seems like it's a lot of. You can't really do all that much damage against these guys, no? Plus, okay. So that's it. Yep. Wave 38. You completed wave 38, and we only got plus 60 honor for the new high score bonus. Wow. Okay, an old high score wave. Yep, was 36. Perfect. So 2 extra waves. My biggest problem right now is that I don't know, other than more fuses, but in terms of economy, like what else can I do? Because the only big thing I would see is just grabbing the specialization from the tavern. But we have maxed out on workers. We even went above that with the specialization. We have all the town upgrades, obviously. I kept putting down outposts in the highest rated fields, and I'm not sure, just in general, it's puzzling currently that what else can I do to maybe survive the next wave or this wave. Okay, let's check out the leaderboard. We are at 1,297. Okay, well, this was actually super fun, and this configuration was insanely good. I love it. What I don't love is that, once again, it's just runestone towers and arc towers, and I want to start experimenting seriously with some other like combinations and fuses. So I might just do that. Maybe some shadow towers. Oh, and we should also unlock the Chaos Reaper, the 9th tower that we still don't have unlocked. Okay, and also we probably need to work a lot on these perks, because I mean, this just gives you so much good stuff. Like even like banner choice, banner rerolls in of itself can be huge. We reroll a few times, get an amazing banner. Legendary relics, like all of these kind of, we have so many things locked still. Okay, problem is we're not making too much honor, but we'll play more of this game then. Okay, thank you guys for watching. This was amazing. See you guys next time.